Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis. We're currently correcting after tapping out at a new all-time high yesterday, just above 108. Bitcoin may hit 200,000 here soon, according to Bitfinex. I'm breaking down their latest analysis. Also, U.S. Strategic Reserve can push Bitcoin to 500,000 because it would force the governments all around the world to buy the Bitcoin, and we would see a rip up that would make 2024 look docile. And this is according to the Bitwise CIO, who just shared on Yahoo Finance. We'll also be discussing Ohio lawmaker introduces a Bitcoin reserve bill allowing the state to buy the BTC. Let's go. We'll also be discussing Meta Planet tips to first operating profit in 7 years, boosted by Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin e-test flip gold funds and assets under management, according to K33 Research. That's right, BlackRock's gold ETF took 20 years to reach $33 billion in assets under management. It took their Bitcoin ETF less than a year, the fastest growing ETFs in history. We'll also be discussing Van Eck predicts establishment of the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve next year without the aid of Congress. I'll be sharing how this is possible. We'll also be discussing the Strike CEO Jack Mallers says Bitcoin's in the early innings of the bull run, predicts Bitcoin can skyrocket by up to 870%. I'll be explaining why. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. Welcome everyone to the live stream. I'm live and in the flash. Bitcoin pulling back some after hitting price discovery yesterday. We're currently down 2,700 on the day. A great BTFD opportunity. Shout out everyone in the live chat. Let me know if I'm loud, clear, and smooth. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Ray Egan, Miles, Shortcoin, Dankness, Chris, Chandy, and the rest of the fam. In fact, I'm excited to link up with Dankness in a little bit. After the show. Looking forward to seeing you, dude. And yeah, welcome everybody. We are live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. I will be streaming over the course of the next hour. I'm going to go ahead and pin the stream at the top of the X profile. That way you guys can easily find it, repost, comment. All repost quotes and comments will get reposted back in real time as it helps with the algorithm. You're going to notice already pinned to the very top. So there you go. And congratulations, everyone, with the new Bitcoin all-time high, currently 108.2 on Coinbase. Shout out Shortcoin and Digital Dankness. Always appreciate the reposts. Now for the theme music.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating. I waited all day, maybe I need a life, but Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
Welcome everyone to the live stream. Shout out Dankness. He says Trump will enact the Bitcoin Reserve once he's in office January 20th. That's why Congress put forth the bill so he could sign it the day he enters. That's the numbers and where they come from. That's correct. In today's feature story, we'll be discussing Jack Mallers. He suggests Bitcoin will easily rip to $1 million, especially if they establish the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve for the states and acquire as much as 4 million Bitcoin, which is what RFK Jr. proposed at the Nashville event. I think they should be a lot more bullish. I think they should do what Michael Saylor said and just print the money out of thin air and purchase up all the Bitcoin they could. But will they is a good question. And will countries start trading their gold reserves for Bitcoin, demonetizing gold? I think it's likely to happen. I think it'll all flow into the greatest asset of all time, which is the apex predator, demonetizing not only the precious metal market, bond market, fiat currency market, but also the real estate market in real time. But what are your thoughts on that, fam? Do let me know. Good morning. Bring facts. Good to have you here. Shout out Chris. Shout out Ricky. Shout out Ray. Thank you guys. Keep the comments flowing. Again, I'm going to be streaming over the course of the next hour. Thank you, Shortcoin, on the repost. Just trying to repost and keep up with you guys. Much appreciated. Yeah. But anyways, without further ado, I am in Florida. I think someone asked where I'm at. I'm in Florida for the week, and I'll be back in Puerto Rico in a couple of days. And then we'll be El Salvador bound and actually have a big announcement. The one and only Chandy 10 Music, #1 Bitcoin music channel. She's also going to be joining us in El Salvador at the Max and Stacy Invitational. So looking forward to that. Expect some exclusive behind the scenes footage from the event. Expect some exclusive Chandy jams and epic music videos on the way. So very exciting news. If anyone else is going to be there in El Salvador next month for the big event, let us know. I've never been to Thy Savior, but as you know, I'm looking forward to that. It's on my bucket list. So super excited. Show Chandy some love and make sure you're subscribed to her channel, Chandy 10 Music. I believe I saw the other day she removed the dash from the URL. So now it's just Chandy 10 Music, #1 Bitcoin music channel. Let me know if you guys were on the pump watch yesterday. We played Chandy jams. The new 4-hour playlist was pretty lit and a lot of fun. Good stuff. Yeah, man. So let's get it. Welcome, Greg, Pirate Crew. Shout out all the moderators. Good to have you guys here. But anyways, without further ado, let's kick it off with our, I forget the first and foremost segment. If you're new to the channel, important to smash the likes, hit the subscribe, then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1852. I'm your host, JV. Yesterday, during our live, we hit the new all-time high of 1082 on Coinbase, which is current price discovery. Today, we're pulling back, which is to be expected, especially after a massive rally like we have witnessed since the Trump election, November 5th. We are corrected 3,000 on the day, so a great BTFD opportunity. Let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. Looking at Coin 360, we got Bitcoin down 2.5%, virtually everything in the red today. Checking out coinmarketcap.com, the crypto market cap did pull back a bit as well with 3.6 trillion market cap. Yesterday when we hit the all-time high, we also hit a new all-time high market cap. The Bitcoin market cap is maintaining above 2 trillion, which we love to see. 191 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, and the Bitcoin dominance is 56.6% with the Ether dominance at 12.8%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours, BGB, Virtual, and HBAR. Let me know which alt, if any, you're bullish on for the bull. Holla. And checking out the crypto bubbles, you get a visual perspective on the day, virtually everything corrected. But if we zoom out, get a better perspective for the month, you can see everything still crushing it over the past 30 days as far as the alts are concerned. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, yesterday was the highest we've been in a minute at an 87 in extreme greed. Today it dropped back down to an 81, last week a 74, and last month a 83. And how this works is the higher this number goes in extreme greed, the more likely of a pullback. And checking out the time chain calendar, we have 174,673 blocks into the next halving. We're currently on block number 875,327, and you can currently exchange $1 fiat monopoly money for 958 sats. So there ain't nothing like the real thing. Trade that monopoly money for the sats while you still can. I mean, before you know it, it'll be 500 sats per dollar, 200 sats per dollar, 100 sats per dollar. And one day it's going to be $1 per sat. And at that time, it'll be $100 million Bitcoin price. Let that one sink in, yo. But with that being shared, welcome everyone just joining the live stream. I'm going to read the comments. Good morning. I know it's an early stream, and FYI, tomorrow will be an early stream because it's another travel day. So I'm going to try to knock it out first thing in the morning. So just be on the lookout. Shout out Fairground. Ricky says, my friend lived near Liverpool Road in North London. Shout out London, UK fam in the building. 90,095 pullback, I reckon, says Chris. FOMC meeting today. Expect volatility across the markets. Right on. Thanks for the heads up, Greg. Is that where they're expecting to announce lowering the interest rate again, 0.25%? I saw there was like a 97% chance probability on that. Today's SEC cut or not? I mean, I guess that's the question. I would propose they continue to cut the rates, but what are your thoughts? Shout out OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg. Thank you, Chandy, for dropping the link. I'm going to go ahead and pin that if I can here on the mobile. See if it allows me. Pin. There's no option. There it is. Yeah, I just pinned your channel to the top. So if you guys aren't already subscribed to Chandy 10 Music, you know what to do. Watching this all the way from the UK. Awesome channel. Appreciate you tuned in from the UK. Chandy says El Salvador bound. Very excited. I'll be the video assistant. That's what's up. Exclusive footage on the way. Chandy says, bring facts. You inspired my new song, which is meant to be silly and fun, with a comment you made on the tube. Ahoy, pirate crew. Welcome, welcome. And I'm going to check the X feed again. Greg says, total 3.56 trillion, I guess total market cap, right? Still up 60% from November 5th from the Trump election. Bitcoin dominance down 6% past 27 days. It means hundreds of billions have moved into the alt space. So that's why you're seeing a lot of the alts, make some major moves, I suppose. Checking the X feed again. Thank you, Chandy. She wrote, everyone's favorite Bitcoin Daily Pod is live. Appreciate it. Reposted. Salacious. Catherine Weaver just reposted. Thank you for the support. You guys are the bomb diggity. Keep the comments flowing. This is live and interactive. Also, let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm broadcasting live today from Florida. I'll be back at the Puerto Rico home office before you know it in a couple of days. But anyways, fam, let's continue with the news. Break down our technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. That's right. Headline reads, Bitcoin may hit 200,000 mid-2025 as the price drops. That will remain mild, and that's according to Bitfinex. Let me know if you guys are familiar with the Bitfinex hack. There was just a new movie documentary released on it. I watched it last night. It was actually pretty intriguing about the story of Heather Morgan. Razzle, what's her name? Razzle Daz, Razzle Khan, or whatever it is. But crazy story of the largest hack in known history, $4.5 billion worth of the Bitcoin. I believe that 100,000 Bitcoin is now valued, now that Bitcoin crossed 100,000, now $10 billion. And I think she ended up getting 18 months sentence, and her husband, who's supposed to have been the mastermind behind the hack, he only got like 4 years, which is kind of crazy. But I think they may have had to forfeit like $1 billion in uncovered funds, if I understood that correctly. But anyways, a fascinating story. Bitfinex analyst says Bitcoin stretching 200,000 under favorable conditions. Quoting them here, our view is that any corrections in 2025 will remain mild thanks to the institutional inflows. They noted while Bitcoin volatility is expected in Q1 of next year, the broader trend suggests continued price growth driven by the ongoing inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETFs and increased global and institutional adoption. About 36 billion has flowed into the US-based spot ETFs since they launched January 11th, according to Farside data. The Bitcoin ETFs are one of the, and Nipsey says hi, largest cohorts of Bitcoin holders at over 1.13 million. And we currently have Bitcoin trading at around 105,000. And we just had Nick Carter of Castle Island Ventures on the news saying that this can grow nearly ninefold in the long term, quoting him here from the Bloomberg interview. Long term, I'm looking for Bitcoin to match the market cap of gold, which would price Bitcoin at 900,000 per coin. As you know, the gold market cap is probably somewhere between 17, 18 trillion. And Bitcoin author Andy Edstrom shared that he is already struggling to get used to the fact that $1,000 is less than 1% move of the Bitcoin price. Bitfinex analyst said that Bitcoin mirrors the 2021 cycle, and if that happens, a 40% increase above its moving averages, it could potentially reach around 339,000 per coin. In the less likely scenario that the extended 2017 cycle repeats with similar diminishing returns, Bitcoin can peak at 290,000, they say, by early 2026. But what if U.S. Bitcoin reserve changing the narrative? You got to actually calculate that now that that's at the forefront of conversation and Trump's entire team has confirmed it. So the possibility of the incoming Trump administration creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the U.S. has the crypto industry speculating the market narrative can move to uncharted territory, hence a super cycle, quoting Tyler Durden here. If one country implements the Bitcoin strategic reserve, which I think is a lock. What are your thoughts, family? Kiss goodbye to the 4-year cycles. And after Trump won the election November 5th, the pro-crypto senator Cynthia Lummis, she said, could move forward with legislation for the U.S. government to buy Bitcoin and hold it for at least 20 years. And that's precisely what Trump was saying when he spoke at Nashville. He said they will stockpile the Bitcoin, they will make the United States the Bitcoin mining hub of the world, and they will establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Eric Trump echoed that sentiment. Michael Saylor, 20-year long friends with the Trump family, has also echoed that sentiment. So I think that's the most likely scenario, but I want to know your thoughts. And if we do get that, then likely it's a super cycle. We're not going to get the bear scenario. We're going to get the bullish scenario. I think it's going to blow everyone's mind. But let me know your thoughts. I'm going to pull up some of the live charts here via TradingView. Let me pull this up and do a little live chart action for you really quick. You should be able to see here. This is Coinbase via TradingView. This is the 1 hour chart. We do have the rising wedgie. Zooming out from the 1 hour, we scrolled out to the 4 hour. Also have the rising wedgie. You can see the corrective move where we're at, currently at 104 at the time of the live stream. We do have a bear target on the screen on the 4 hour chart, currently all the way down at 80,500. And zooming out from there, we look at the 1 day. The 1 day chart overall looking very bullish. There is also the rising wedge here. Zooming out from the daily candles, check out the week. We just had the highest weekly candle close in Bitcoin history on Sunday. This Sunday we'll get another, most likely probably be an all-time high again. But you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive green weekly candle closes. We still have the sexy cup and handle target in play. It's sitting at 124,000. I think this is the most likely target thus far for this year, meaning we have 2 weeks left to achieve it. But let me know your thoughts. And zooming out from the weekly, take a quick look at the monthly chart. And as you can see here, Moonvember was the biggest green candle we had in Bitcoin's history. And obviously now we're in December. We got another couple of weeks to finish off the year strong here in Q4. But let me know where you think the Bitcoin price will likely peak for this cycle. Holla at your boy. And quoting Bitwise CIO here, let me make sure you guys can see this. Let me zoom out here. Give me a second. Should be able to see that here. The Bitwise CIO says U.S. strategic, and he was just interviewed on Yahoo Finance. The strategic reserve for Bitcoin for the states can push Bitcoin to 500,000 because it would force governments all around the world to buy Bitcoin. We call this game theory, the global hash war. And we will see a rip up that will make 2024 look docile. That's what's up. So there you go, fam. Let me know your thoughts on what I just shared as far as the TA and your price targets. And I'm going to read your comments out loud. We got roughly 400 people on the stream. Again, we're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. I'll do my best to read comments in between the news stories here. Monday and Tuesday this week, the top 10 US-based Bitcoin spot ETF scooped up another 1.13 billion of the biddy. That's almost 11,000 Bitcoin. Who's selling their Bitcoin? It's going up forever, Laura, says Tony. That's what's up. Chandy says, I'll absolutely buy like a madman if that happened. Always taking advantage of the dips. Chris says, if we look at the moving averages in the past, the biddy was sitting on them before the move up. We are far too away at the moment. So I imagine a healthy pullback to 90, 95, January, February liftoff, says Chris. Shako says 150 as far as the Q4 target. Right on. Good luck when you move out short coin. It's the way to go, says Ricky. 500,000 pump, send it, says Miles. 100,000 incoming, send it. My bear target for 2025 is 170. Bull target 850. I like the sound of that bull target. Keep the comments flowing, fam. I'm going to check the X feed again. Reminder, anyone who reposts, comments, or quotes the stream will get reposted back. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys in advance. But let's continue with the headlines and break down what else is trending here. This was actually big news. I announced yesterday, and now there's articles written on it. So here we go. Ohio lawmaker introduces the Bitcoin Reserve Bill, allowing their state to buy Bitcoin. That's what's up. The Ohio House of Representatives member has introduced a bill to establish a Bitcoin fund in the state's treasury, marking the third U.S. state to do so in just over a month. I think every state will eventually do this, and we also know at the nation level, Trump is likely to do the same, so the race continues. Ohio House Republican leader Derek Merrin, December 17th, introduced HB 703, tentatively titled the Ohio Bitcoin Reserve Act, which would give the state treasurer authority to purchase Bitcoin as part of the proper asset allocation, though it would not require it. The US dollar is being rapidly devalued, and our state treasurer should have the authority and flexibility to invest in Bitcoin. When determining proper asset allocation, Marin said in the statement, Ohio must embrace technology and protect tax dollars from eroding. That's right. Bitcoin's the perfect hedge against the dollar. We all know the dollar's hyperinflating in real time as Bitcoin continues to do the opposite, give you increased buying power, which against the dollars, they continue to print through infinity. But you can see the bill here announced today. I filed HB 703 from Derek Merrin to create the Ohio Bitcoin Reserve within the state treasury. Let me know what other states you think are likely to follow in their footstep. He said he anticipates the bill will be used as a framework in Ohio's next legislative session, as it was introduced just 2 weeks before the end of the 135th General Assembly. The bill must be reintroduced in the 136th General Assembly, which will start Jan 6, 2025. And the last 2 years, bills not enacted before the end of the current session die and are not carried over the next. Marin said he hopes the bill will pave the way for legislators to address it quickly next year. Quoting them here, Bitcoin is revolutionizing finance and will reshape world economies. We must have sound money. It is like digital property rights for everyone who owns it. This legislative sets up the framework for the Ohio state's government to harness the power of the biddy and strengthen our state finance. Derek Marin has labeled himself a strong defender of crypto and holds a top-level A rating from the Coinbase-supported crypto advocacy organization Stand With Crypto. In a August 5th post, Marin stressed the need for a 21st century framework that protects individuals' rights to possess, trade, and conduct commerce with digital assets. You hear that, Gary Gensler? That's why you're fired, and you should go home and get your shine box before the Nippinator bites you. Just saying. Texas and Pennsylvania have introduced similar legislation to establish Bitcoin reserves since Trump's presidential election victory November 5th. Trump has floated the idea of the federal Bitcoin reserve. And then on December 12th, Texas House Rep Giovanni introduced the Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act, proposing the state's comptroller hold Bitcoin as a reserve asset for at least 5 years. Why so bearish? You got to hold at least for 8 years. A month earlier, November 12th, Pennsylvania House Representative Mike Cabell proposed a bill permitting its treasury to hold up to 10% in Bitcoin on the balance sheet, claiming Bitcoin could be used as a hedge to offer stability in uncertain economic times. Precisely, I think all states will eventually adopt Bitcoin as the Bitcoin race continues across the world. Good morning, just my opinion. Welcome to the live stream. Oh, wow, that's right, Greg. JD Vance is from Ohio, so now I'm not so surprised. Ohio adopting the Bitcoin. You know, Florida is going to be adopting the Bitcoin for the pension funds, all the states. So we'll see who gets in first from the state level or from the nation level with Trump. What do you think as the race continues? Let me know. I can send some free fruit tree seeds. My Bitcoin TA, Bitcoin has broke above the 1.5 Fibonacci. Next stop is 1.618 Fibonacci, sitting just shy of 110. Sounds good to me, Greg. 110 in play. Send it, please.
100K Bitcoin and play. Dip, rip, dip, rip. What felt like a mountain was just a little hill. We are not done climbing, just smiling and reflecting is a thrill. Looking back like Alan Jackson, remembering the days of 60G. Sweet, sweet for the Nipsey memories. Like Kenny Rogers knowing when to hold or fold 'em, like Satoshi when he crafted our freedom by giving us a blessing.
Hold, hard to hold, never fold.
No Bitcoin in the summer, what a bummer. No BTC in the spring, that's gonna sting. No sat stacks in the winter when digging in a dumpster. Be careful not to get a splinter. No biddies in the fall, be aware Humpty got hurt falling off a fiat wall. Wise owls whisper clues in the wind.
Shout out Bluebirds Unlimited, just reposting everyone I could here. Novum, always appreciate it. He wrote, for the U.S. to absorb 4 million Bitcoins, I think that price would have to be significantly higher than $1 million per Bitcoin by the time the purchasing is completed. Agree. I'm just repeating what Jack Mahler said in the interview. This seems far too low. Other countries will attempt to do the same. The supply just isn't there. Yeah, so let's just say that's the bear scenario if the United States did adopt 4 million Bitcoin, which is what actually RFK proposed when he spoke at the event.
The ghost of Satoshi lives. You can hear his guidance through rustling leaves in the wind.
Shout out Mr. Corvette. Good to see you. Shout out to the Bitcoin Cowboy. Michigan and Wisconsin that adopted it a while back. Right on.
Best crypto asset. Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
Mostly as he whispers,
100K Bitcoin in play, stack sats. Now please do this, my friend.
we are fifth level investing G's. Bonafide whole coiners making honey like we're working for a queen bee. Dragons and corrupt system slayers, we're innovative takers.
Pretty much. Charlie Munger, a.k.a. Humpty Dumpty. Rest in pieces. Pretty brutal there.
Storing our wealth in private wallets, we hold the keys. Self-custody, 100K. JV called it up, a biddy up on 100K Bitcoin and play. 100K Bitcoin, 100K Bitcoin and play. 100K Bitcoin Super Saiyan, we invested in.
100K Bitcoin Super Saiyans, where you at?
The unconfiscatable, the impregnable, the uncensorable. 100K Bitcoin and play. 100K Bitcoin today. 100K Bitcoin with bigger numbers on the way. My bitty fam will be styling on a private jet, flexing with no master, no regrets. Bound for Puerto Rico, can't wait, that's no ditty. We'll style in the look of one.
Puerto Rico, let's go. But anyways, let's continue with the headlines, shall we? Here's the latest from Meta Planet. This is the Japanese company that followed in the footsteps of MicroStrategy. I often refer to it now as MicroStrategy instead of MicroStrategy, but you get the gist. MetaPlanet tips the first operating profit in 7 years, boosted by the IBIDI. Bitcoin stacking firm MetaPlanet expects to record its first consolidated operating profit in 7 years, just months after adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet for the first time. The Japanese investment firm December 18th said it expects to generate 890 million Japanese yen, which is $6 million US in revenue for the fiscal year ending December 31st, compared to just 261 million Japanese yen in the previous fiscal year. It tipped its operating profit to hit 270 million Japanese yen, up from a loss of 468 million Japanese yen. MetaPlanet says much of its revenue came from selling Bitcoin put options, which generated 520 million Japanese yen of income. There's been a marked increase in companies adopting a Bitcoin strategy this year, as the price of Bitcoin has soared, leading in many cases to boost in their value and stock prices, quoting their financial statement. Combined with the strong performance of the hotel business, the company is on track to record consolidated operating profit for the first time since 2017, all thanks to Bitcoin. MetaPlanet is a publicly traded Tokyo-based investment firm that made a major pivot to Bitcoin back in April, adopting it as a treasury asset to hedge against crypto depreciation. It also owns and operates Royal Oak Hotel in Tokyo's Gatanda district through its consolidated subsidiary. Now, MetaPlanet says it wants to move beyond simply accumulating Bitcoin as part of the treasury management strategy. In a separate investor disclosure, which was announced today, MetaPlanet said it would establish Bitcoin accumulation and management as a formal business line, which will see it employ loans, equity, convertible bonds, and other financial instruments to purchase and hold Bitcoin. We call this the Sailor Put. It said it will continue utilizing put option sales as a key revenue driver. And here he is thanking Michael Saylor on X. Thank you, Saylor, for recognizing MetaPlanet as one of the Bitcoin standard companies. Your leadership continues to inspire us as we build towards a brighter future on the foundation of Bitcoin. Put options are contractual agreements giving the owner who buys them the ability to sell the underlying asset at a pre-agreed value called the strike price to the issuer, and in this case, MetaPlanet. It's a way for investors to lock in a minimum selling price for an asset they own to avoid further losses, and in turn MetaPlanet earns a premium for each put option contract in which it sells, whether or not the option is exercised. If the option is exercised, it allows them to buy Bitcoin in line with the strategy. MetaPlanet also aims to establish revenue streams from Bitcoin-related marketing activities through its recently acquired license to operate Japanese version of the news outlet Bitcoin Magazine. MetaPlanet is Asia's second largest corporate Bitcoin holder after Boya Interactive, who now holds 1,142 Bitcoin, worth roughly $120 million. On December 16th, MetaPlanet announced a fourth bond issuance worth just under 4.5 billion Japanese yen, which is 30 million USD, with the aim of accumulating more Bitcoin, along with a plan to issue another 5 billion Japanese yen in private placement ordinary bonds. Bitcoin stacking firm MetaPlanet expects to record its first consolidated operating profit in 7 years, just months after adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet for the first time. And quoting them here, combined with the strong performance of our hotel business, the company is on track to record a consolidated operating profit for the first time since 2017. So you already know many countries adopting Bitcoin and adding it to their treasury. And I think eventually all the major companies will be forced to do so or get left behind. We all know Microsoft obviously had a shareholder meeting. I believe Saylor got to speak for 3 minutes, maybe twice, and they denied it. But there's still plenty of other companies out there. The smart companies that want 100 million Bitcoiners backing them, like MetaPlanet and MicroStrategy, will likely adopt Bitcoin. I mean, what's the alternative? As Saylor once brilliantly described with a metaphor, you're going to keep all those hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in the bank. It's ultimately a melting ice cube. So if you want to avoid hyperinflation and devaluation of the dollar, you got to park it into something. And there's nothing greater to increase your purchasing power than Bitcoin, as Bitcoin has really been on a 16-year bull run since the inception, if you look at the charts against the US dollar. So as the dollar continues losing purchasing power, Bitcoin will continue to do the polar opposite, gain you purchasing power. That's why everyone here should be at least bare minimal saving in Bitcoin and treat Bitcoin as your ultimate savings account. Simple and plain. Japan is buying a lot of the biddies. Japan is smart, apparently. And China, you already know, they're probably buying Bitcoin behind the scenes. Come on, Asia. Asia must be bullish on the biddy. No one wants to get left behind. We have a global hash war happening in real time. Russia, Putin's been talking very positive about Bitcoin. China's making favorable Bitcoin laws after allegedly it being banned for so long, or allegedly, I say, because it was impossible to ever ban it in the first place. But you already know. Also, nation state level, what we're witnessing in the United States, many other countries are following. I think there is probably mass buying going on behind the scenes because everyone wants to front run the United States of America strategically acquiring mass Bitcoin, whether it's 1 million, 4 million is irrelevant. They know Trump will pump Bitcoin because his entire team is strategically aligned to do so. You know what I mean? So sorry, Gensler, you're out. Go home, get your shine box. Adios, amigo. Just saying.
100K will be 100 G's. Mile high biddy doing it up club. La 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 dollar biddy doing it up, biddy up.
Wow, that's very kind of you. The Golden Eagle. The Eagle has landed. Just sent a $50 super. If I had the gong, I'd strike it for you. Much respect. They wrote, JV, what up, my guy? What it looked like. Well, I greatly appreciate your support and thank you for supporting the stream. Much respect. Greg says Bitcoin does not need Microsoft. It is up 7% since their shareholders shot down the adoption. Oops. Good point there, brother. Warpaint, CNA creeped up on me. Good morning. That's right. We had an early stream today, and just note tomorrow is going to be an early stream as well. And then probably Friday is going to be an early. So Thursday and Friday, expect early streams. And then Saturday, we'll probably be back to what time do I go? 3 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back to the regular afternoon slot in a couple of days once we get through the week here, as I'm on vacay in Florida this week. But anyways, keep the comments flowing, and thank you guys so much. Whatever I hear you say, Shinebox, I laugh. It's the truth. And Gary, go home and get your Shinebox. I heard you're a professional. If you're in the chat lurking around like you usually are, Chairman, let me know. But next story of the day, let's continue where we left off. Bitcoin ETF headline reads, Bitcoin ETFs flip gold funds and assets under management according to K33 research. And as you can see here, BlackRock's gold ETF took 20 years to reach $33 billion in assets under management. Bitcoin just did it in less than a year. The ETFs just went live January 11th this year. The fastest growing ETFs in history. Numbers don't lie. Check the scoreboard. That's what's up. Net assets in the United States, Bitcoin ETFs surpassed those of gold for the first time December 16th, 2 days ago, as institutional asset managers clamor for the crypto, according to the data from K33. December 16th, U.S. Bitcoin ETFs collectively broke $129 billion in assets under management, surpassing the U.S. gold ETFs, which held an amount just shy of that figure, according to a December 17th post on X. K33 Research is a digital asset researcher based out of Norway, and according to Bloomberg ETF analyst Balchunas, the assets under management figure includes spot Bitcoin ETFs as well as ETFs that track Bitcoin's performance using financial derivatives such as futures. Quoting them here, if you include all the Bitcoin ETFs, spot, futures, leverage, they have 130 billion versus 128 billion for gold ETFs. That said, if you just look at the spot, Bitcoin is 120 billion versus 125 billion for gold. But either way, it's unreal that Bitcoin funds are even competing with gold in this way after just 11 months. The writing's on the wall. My personal prediction, as many of the top experts are saying, including Michael Saylor, but Bitcoin is demonetizing gold in real time, and I think we're going to flip the market cap of gold very easily, right? Currently, the Bitcoin market cap's $2 trillion, gold is $17 trillion. That's going to reverse, complete 180. Mark my words. It's all going to zero against Bitcoin. Spot Bitcoin ETFs launched in January on the 11th, following a lengthy review from the SEC. Yeah, no thanks to Gary Gensler. We could have had those ETFs years ago, FYI, but I digress. Since then, Bitcoin has dominated the ETF landscape. U.S. spot ETFs broke 100 billion in net assets for the first time in November, according to Bloomberg. The surge of the Bitcoin ETF net assets reflect a more positive outlook for the future of the Bitcoin after the Trump election win, which boosted performance and brought over 5 billion worth of the inflows. Now, BlackRock's IBIT leads the pack amongst the Bitcoin ETFs with nearly 60 billion in assets under management. I believe they now hold, through their Coinbase custody, over 500,000 Bitcoin, which is roughly 2% of the circulating supply. Also, MicroStrategy also owns like now over 430,000 Bitcoins. So the race continues, fam. Now let's discuss the debasement trade. Investors are turning towards gold and Bitcoin in a so-called debasement trade as they brace for the catastrophic scenario. Amid rising geopolitical tension, according to a October JP Morgan report, the debasement trade refers to a spike in gold demand caused by factors ranging from structurally higher geopolitical uncertainty since 2022 to persistent high uncertainty about the long-term inflation backdrop, persistently high government deficits across the major economies, and on December 16th, the Bitcoin to gold ratio, measuring Bitcoin's purchasing power relative to the yellow metal, hit an all-time high as Bitcoin's price broke new records. So there you go, crypto bros. What are your thoughts on that? As we continue to see unprecedented volume flow into the institutions such as the Bitcoin ETFs, and also something to consider, previous cycle, there was zero institutional FOMO, nothing. They didn't go live till this year. Previous cycle was primarily driven by retail, which is mind-boggling. So we may have that super cycle we've all been anticipating. In fact, I think that may be the most likely scenario, hyper-Bitcoinization. Why? Because Trump is embracing Bitcoin. And when you have the leader of the free world embracing Bitcoin, stockpiling Bitcoin, and doing everything favorable for Bitcoin, other nations are all going to have to follow or get left behind. So you already know. We call this the global hash wars, which Max Kaiser has coined many years back. We also refer to this as game theory in full effect. So let's get it. Well, Wisconsin bought 160 million of Bitcoin from their retirement pension fund. I too sleep with shoes on. Do you really? Facts. Just for Gensler to shine them? I heard it's cheaper to fly to Japan and go to Disney World than to buy tickets at Disney in the States. I don't know if I buy that, because I would imagine a flight to Japan is going to be at least a couple of grand, maybe $3-4 grand, depending on how you fly. Disney tickets are not that expensive. It's like $100 and something. I went last year or earlier this year. They're not that bad. But anyways, I do believe there is a Disney though in Japan, right? I think there's a Disney in France. There's one in Japan, obviously California and Florida. What other locations am I missing? 850,000 in play. Shout out Breck Monfils Evangelista. Welcome to the live stream. So with all this buying in Bitcoin from these companies to the private equity firms, why is it just not continuously going up? I mean, it's a fantastic question. I think it depends on how they buy it. What if they buy it like over the counter versus, through a traditional way? And also, I think it's in BlackRock's best interest to suppress the Bitcoin price as much as they can, and in anyone's best interest acquiring bulk amounts of Bitcoin to suppress the price action of Bitcoin if they can. And there's probably whales doing just that. They much rather buy mass quantities of Bitcoin at this level versus at 250,000 or versus 1 million, because you can buy 10 times more Bitcoin today at 100,000 versus if it was 1 million. So for the whales, it's advantageous that the price be suppressed. You know what I mean? So who really knows behind closed doors? But it's actually a good point. You would think Bitcoin would just continuously rock at 100,000 every day we wake up. Michael Saylor, another $2 billion purchase. Oh, BlackRock, another 3,000 Bitcoin for the day. Shout out Breck Monfils Evangelista. Appreciate you supporting the stream. For those that don't know, we have Hodl Gang memberships, less than 10 cents a day if you want to support the stream. And he just got hooked up for the next 12 months. So thank you for your dedication, support, and loyalty to the stream, family. Much appreciated. And you guys will notice that all the members, their names are in green. So show the members some love. We appreciate it. And that goes for MicroStrategy members, Grayscale members, Satoshi members, and Huddle Gang members. We have 4 memberships specifically on the YouTube channel, so respect. Yeah, now I need to fix some electrical issues, says Fax. The wall quit working, so I can get electrocuted. Just now I became a 22 Bitcoin. Whoa. OTW. Damn, how's everyone going? Shout out Bitcoin Boet. Shout out to the rest of the fam. We're just getting through the news here. Daily news with Bitcoin. Thank you, Matt McCrae. Again, on X, you're going to notice the stream pinned at the top. Anyone who reposts, comments, quotes, gets reposted back. In real time, it helps with the algo and always greatly appreciated. You guys saw the Dragon Ball I was showing off the other day. I got this directly from Gohan. And if I can collect the other 6, he said, I can summon the dragon. And if I summon the dragon, I'm just sending Bitcoin straight to 10 million. Fair play? If JV gets his hands on the other 6 Dragon Balls floating around this earth, I'm summoning the dragon and we're just going to send Bitcoin straight to 10 million. So stack the stats accordingly, because you should know I'm going to find those Dragon Balls, whatever it takes. I got to hit up Piccolo. We're going to meet up later in the day. I'm going to battle Vegeta for one of them. I might even team up with Vegeta and fight Cell if I have to. Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? I'll call Goku right now during the live stream. Goku, let's get these Dragon Balls. We're ready to send it to 10 million. Anyways. Keep the comments flowing. Let's continue with our next story of the day. We're going to be discussing strategic Bitcoin reserve established by Trump, sending Bitcoin price parabolic, as well as Jack Mallers' latest prediction he shared. He says Bitcoin will most definitely rip up to $1 million, specifically if the United States does this one thing with Trump in office. So I'm going to break this down for you, and then we'll do a nice little live Q&A session. And again, welcome everyone joining the live stream. We're live on X, Rumble, and YouTube today. So headline reads, Van Eck predicts establishment of the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve next year without the aid of Congress. That's what's up. An analyst at one of the biggest asset managers in crypto thinks the U.S. will establish some form of strategic Bitcoin reserve next year. Let me know if you agree, yay or nay. Matthew Siegel, the head of digital assets at Van Eck, says in a new interview with Natalie Brunell, shout out Natalie, that the reserve might not be generated from congressional legislation. However, I think more likely it'll be an executive action that tries to reclassify the roughly 200,000 Bitcoin that the U.S. government already owns. Keep in mind, 100,000 was seized from Bitfinex and does not belong to the U.S. government, but I digress. Having seized in crimes or other events and just call that a Bitcoin reserve and pledge not to sell it. Our prediction is for next year is there will be either a national Bitcoin reserve like what I've just described, or that one or a handful of states will pass their own, which we're witnessing in real time. And I think that most likely candidates for that are Pennsylvania, Florida, or Texas. Come on, DeSantis, get on the Bitcoin train. And in July, Republican Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming said she would announce a bill to establish a Bitcoin reserve as a means of securing the value of the U.S. dollar amid a record-breaking national debt. The legislation would drive the U.S. government to accumulate 1 million Bitcoin, or 5% of the Bitcoin total supply in 5 years. I know that's Michael Strategy's strategy to control 5% of the Bitcoin supply, which is roughly 1 million Bitcoin. They're already halfway there, FYI, just shy of 250,000 Bitcoin. And on the campaign trail last year, Trump promised the U.S. would stop selling its trove of seized Bitcoin to the open market and instead strategically hold the asset as an investment. We all know that's the smartest move for the states. I mean, look at the stupidity and idiocracy of Germany government dumping all their Bitcoin when it was 50,000. They just lost billions of dollars by not hodling, and the United States should not make the same mistake. Earlier in the month, a member of the Texas House of Representatives proposed a legislation to enable Lone Star State to establish the strategic Bitcoin reserve within the Treasury. Let's go Texas. The decentralized betting platform Polymarket currently priced the odds that Trump will create the Bitcoin strategic reserve in his first 100 days in office at 41%. I'll take that bet. That means it's the underdog bet. I think it's most likely to happen, but let me know your thoughts, family. I think they will waste no time. But let me know what you think, and I'll read your comments out loud before we dive into our feature story of the day and discuss the latest from the Strike CEO, Jack Mallers. Germany went into XRP at 46 cents. Well, hopefully they didn't sell like they sold their Bitcoin, and then they'll be up right now. Printing war stats. Yeah, the printing wars, precisely. Frieza. Yeah, Frieza has one of the Dragon Balls. I'm going to knock him out personally. I'll get a selfie of it too. Just as a flex. Bring the balls. Precisely. How's everyone doing? Was good? Welcome, everyone joining us. I'm going to check the X feed again. We got 700 people here watching from all over the world. And yes, this is an early stream, and tomorrow will be an early stream. FYI, early streams. Just in, Michael Saylor says he's willing to advise President Trump on Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, don't get better than that. Michael Saylor says, hey, Trump, I got you. But yeah, I already know they've been friends for 20 years. So you already know Michael Saylor's in the Trump's ears, his family. But that's pretty cool. He's always offering to help. So we'd love to see that. And I see that's the big news on my timeline right now. So shout out Michael Saylor making the rounds right now. Yeah, exciting times. But anyways, keep the comments flowing, fam. We're about to dive into our feature story of the day. I'm going to get one more drink here, sip of the water, and we'll continue. And then we'll dive into some live Q&A.
We're ballers making moves, shooting down old all-time highs. Nothing but net, smashing records like Shaq, making records like Dax.
Step back with your COVID vax. Seriously, still
No way, the gig is up, so is the biddy. Bitcoin is up, the lala biddy up, no diddy up. We're a BTC Hall of Fame hodl gang. We're a BTC Hall of Fame hodl gang. Bitcoin is the currency of the people. Bitcoin's immutable versus evil. We're a fifth level team working for the Bitcoin force. Manifesting is our way, orange Peldon on a spacebound course. Celebrate.
Let's go. But anyways, there's always like a frozen glitch when I go to the 8th scene for our feature story. So I always got to wait a moment, but we're good now. Now for our feature story of the day. Strike CEO Jack Mallers says Bitcoin's in the early innings of the bull run, predicts Bitcoin can skyrocket by up to 870%, and explains why and which scenario that would likely occur. So first and foremost, shout out to the one and only Jack Mallers. The chief executive of the payments app Strike is leaning bullish towards Bitcoin as Bitcoin hovers above 100 G's. In a new interview with the Wall Street vet Anthony Scaramucci on the Wealthion YouTube channel, Jack Mallers says Bitcoin could hit a price of up to $1 million, a potential gain of 871% from the current value. And on what could drive Bitcoin to reach the 7-figure price trajectory, here's what Mallers had to say. The reality is, if America comes out and buys 4 million Bitcoin, and that's what RFK Jr. proposed at the Nashville event, FYI, I think Bitcoin ticks to 1 million per coin easily. If not, we get an interest in fiscal policy from the incoming Trump administration, then 250,000 seems decently reasonable. And that's right in alignment. I've been calling 250 as a bear scenario and now 1.1 million as my bull scenario. And as you know, recently Max Kaiser 10x'd his original 220 prediction to 2.2 million, and especially with Trump in office adopting Bitcoin for, the United States Treasury, stockpiling the Bitcoin and making, the United States a Bitcoin mining hub of the world. But Mallers goes on to further say that the U.S. and global fiscal situation is also a bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. So any scenario is bullish. It's going up forever, Laura. I think we're going to see one of the greatest asset bubbles in human history. I think the fiscal situation is a problem. So I think the problem is we have too much debt. And the way I would say it is that someone has to realize the loss. U.S. domestic debt to GDP close to 130%, global debt to GDP well over 300%. And so there is a loss that has to be realized. And the question is, where are we going to realize that loss? Are we going to render all the bond holders poor? Probably not. My expectation is further currency debasement. My expectation is further asset inflation. My expectation is Bitcoin will continue to be the best performer because it's the scarcest and the hardest to make more of. In fact, it is the only thing you can't make any more of. That's right. Name another commodity, fam, you can't make more of. It doesn't even exist. There seems to be infinite everything except Bitcoin. There's even infinite gold, as crazy as that sounds. They continue to find more and more. There was like a gold reserve mine found in Africa. Trillions of dollars worth of gold. Bukele just discovered $3 trillion worth of gold, unmined, untapped, in which he said he is going to mine and convert it into the hardest money to ever exist, which is going to demonetize gold, which is a speculative attack against the central banking cartels who hoard the gold. So how do you like those apples? But let me know your thoughts on what Jack Mallers had to share there. And can you see Bitcoin ripping to $1 million? And again, someone mentioned it earlier in the comments. That is very, very, what's the term I'm looking for? conservative. If we really did buy 4 million of the Bitcoin and control, I mean, that much of the circulating supply, you already know, Bitcoin could potentially be 10 million or 13 million, as Michael Saylor suggests, per coin. But you let me know your thoughts. My personal prediction is my bull scenario, 1.1 million, which I called a few weeks back. And my bear scenario has been 250. I just don't see the bear scenario most likely to occur. And then my base case is 420 base for the broskies. Happy 420. But nonetheless, I'm extremely bullish into 2025, and I do think we hit the cycle peak. But anything is possible. We have never seen this type of Bitcoin adoption from an institutional level, nation state level, state level, pension fund level, sovereign wealth fund level, etc. So mass adoption is taking place. And the beautiful part is all of you got to front run the United States of America. All of you got to front run the Trump pump. The majority of you got to front run the Larry Fink ETF. That went live January 11th. And some of you even got to front run MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, who adopted Bitcoin as, put it on the balance sheet as the first publicly traded company to do so. And now it's the best performing stock that there is. So it's mind-boggling. Welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live show. I'll stick around for a little bit, read questions and comments, and I'll do my best to address as much as I can. Polar Bear says Bitcoin 4 million, even if the US could buy. Yeah, correct. There isn't even 4 million available to buy. So you are right. You know what? The only way to buy that much Bitcoin, you have to find sellers. And to convince a seller, to sell their Bitcoin, you're going to have to pay a premium. What if it's like, you can't buy 4 million unless you're buying it at $1 million a coin? What do you think is going to happen to the Bitcoin price? It's going up forever, Laura.
I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset,
it's going up forever, Chandy. You know what? Since the Bitcoin has been created, all it does is go up. Exactly, Mr. Corvette. Exactly. Without the National Reserve, 190 to 220. But here's the thing. Now that they proposed it, even if Trump didn't do what he said he was going to do, other countries will to front run them and make America look bad. So I just don't see it not happening at this level. Especially with all the talk from his entire family, his entire crew, and without having Gary weaponizing. And, right now there's a war on crypto. Biden, war on crypto. Senator Warren, war on crypto. Gary Gensler, war on crypto. Jim Cramer, war on crypto. All the talking heads, war on crypto. They're all funded by the same evil source to suppress crypto, and that's precisely what the current chairman has been doing. He's about to leave office. Janet Yellen already resigned. All the lizard folk are out, and Bitcoin's going to thrive. So welcome the new Bitcoin team, your president of the United States. 100,000 candle incoming. That's the Omega candle. Send it. Bitcoin will be 10 billions one day, just not my lifetime. Keep it for the kids. You never know, because the dollar is probably going to be worthless, and you're probably going to be right. Identify as one who seeks the truth and tells the truth for the best of my ability. There's always been an extenuating circumstance. Right on. There's Shelton. Super cycle because the ETFs and the corporate adoption. Exactly. What we're experiencing, we've never had before. So how could you not be leaning at least towards super cycle? That's how I'm thinking. That's what my two Satoshis are saying. Greg says empires, nations, countries, states, Wall Street, pensions, you, me, all in, Nipsey, Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. Precisely. You nailed it, Greg. You know what? Since the Bitcoin has been created, exactly. Could you imagine 100,000? I can. Absolutely. There will be a day where we get 100,000 candle. You know what I mean? I don't know if it'll happen today, but heck, even at $1 million per coin, what's a 10% gain? $100,000. Has Bitcoin done 10% pumps? Yeah, it's done 30% daily pumps. So very possible and likely. It's just a matter of when. You feel me? Yeah, all I want to hear something crazy. You know how Saylor said that when everyone was wanting to know about Bitcoin, you missed the boat? Yeah. Love fam from Paris. Shout out Paris. Mr. Corvette, you out there in Paris. City of Lights getting the rate cut in a few hours. Let's go. Send her to 150. How many Bitcoin are there ever? The programmatic math is 276 cubed. So just over 21 million, but there are 1.1 million in the original Satoshi wallet, never moved. 3.6 million estimated permanently lost, 1.5 million yet to be mined equals 14 million. That's right. So there'll only ever be 14 million Bitcoin is the bigger picture. Only 14 million to go around. And MicroStrategy has over 400,000. BlackRock has over 500,000. Satoshi has over 1 million. You know what I mean? Some of the Bitcoin OGs have practically 1 million themselves. So there's not a lot to go around. Well, the person I live with right now has plenty of his stocks. His stock man that handles the stuff called him yesterday, and I was on the speaker, and he knew about him getting into the Bitcoin, thanks to me. And he was asking for all the info and the advice. Wow, so the stock guys are coming to you now for Bitcoin advice. Crazy how the world works. Love to hear that. Music to my ears. The super cycle is definitely highly probable, and the countries are buying for the reserves is going to be the biggest catalyst. 100%. Catalyze it up. So, very bullish times, family. Take advantage of the price. This is awesome. Good job. I know that's so fantastic to hear. I just wanted to hit my head against the wall. I could tell he still wasn't sure. He helps people invest their money, millions per many customers, and he still isn't quite sure about it. But the stock. So are you referring to like the ETF? Are they offering like the ETF? Because typically that's what they would be offering, I would assume. So you can buy it through them or whatever. He was very late to the game, Shandy, but better late than never. Precisely. Exactly. We all pay for Bitcoin at the price we deserve, a wise man once said. Rob says, how many of the flat earthers are out there? If you couldn't tell, I was winking. I'm wearing shades, so you probably couldn't tell. 14 million in current circulation. About 1/2 of that is locked up at a long-term HODL wallet. HODL be thy name. Also, fam, let me know if any of you, besides me and Shandy, are going to be heading to El Salvador. Bitcoin country for the Max and Stacy Invitational. The event kicks off January 10th, so we're going to be there that week. Looking forward to it and documenting as much behind-the-scenes footage as we can, some exclusive videos and all that fun stuff. Let me know if you guys are going to be anyone in El Salvador. How many of you are currently in El Salvador? Let us know. We're excited to link up with you potentially at the event. Any financial advisor who doesn't know about Bitcoin is useless. Get them fired along with Gensler. Say, financial advisor, you're fired along with Gary. Now go home and get your shine box. You should have told me about Bitcoin back in 2009. You failed miserably. And you don't deserve the title, financial advisor. That's all you say. And then you hang up the phone. Shout out Phil C. Welcome to the stream. Shortcoin lost her wallet in a skiing accident. Sorry to hear that, Shortcoin. It's a very sad tragedy. Imagine a bull run for 2 halvings. Let's say 2024 to 2030. Just a forever bull run. It just continuously goes up forever. Because that's precisely what it does with small dips along the way, small corrections along the way. When it comes to Bitcoin, you're never too late in the game. The longer you wait to get in, the more you'll pay to play, 100%. Yeah, I think he works through Fidelity, but the person has 1.5 million with him, and they do the things that custom sometimes, and he wants advice. Unfortunately, I heard on the speaker and didn't get to talk. Oh, wow. JV's phone is big. Yeah, it is big. It is actually a big phone. It's like the Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, back when the mobile phone was invented. Now, what's up with the time travelers getting caught with the mobile phones from pictures hundreds of years ago? You guys see that? It's very interesting. We all lost our Bitcoin due to yes, Greta Thunberg. You're very right. Global warming is real. I lost all of my Bitcoin in a global warming accident. It don't exist no more because of global warming is so real. So I should have listened to Greta a long time ago. My bad. Shit happens. But anyways, fam, we're going to end the stream. I'm going to go link up with Dankness over in Clearwater, Florida. We're going to discuss the 100K Fiesta. For those that don't know, we're going to be celebrating Bitcoin surpassing the epic 100K milestone. The party is going to be in February. The details will be launched as soon as we have it all organized as far as locking down the date, the venue, and all the specifics. Make sure you're in our Discord. It's discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. Again, discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. We have a specific channel in there on our private server, which is called 100K Bitcoin Puerto Rico or 100K Fiesta, whatever it's called. And you guys can get the details there as soon as it's all organized. But most likely it's going to be in February. I'd like to do January, but can't because we have the El Salvador. Big event for the Max and Stacy Invitational. But nonetheless, most likely the party is going to be in Puerto Rico in February. Everyone here is invited. So much respect to the fam. And thank you guys for showing up today. Remember, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming extra early as well, and I look forward to seeing you guys either this evening on the premiere, which should be around 9 p.m. Eastern on the channel, or I'll see you guys on tomorrow's live. Just remember, it'll be an extra early stream, and I'll see you guys soon. Deuces.